Hello, this is Samadan. Samadan doesn't have any gold, but he does have some gathering professions, and a cat farm, and some herbs to sell on the auction house. Welcome to my gold guide, and this is my journey of gold making. We are on the North American realm, starting from scratch with no resources at all. We're going to work our way through the levels and learn to make gold along the way right up to gold camp. In the last episode we got to level 9 and picked up some gathering professions. In this episode, we're going to finish the starting quests and then head to the big city where the streets are paved with gold, or something like that. First, we're going to complete the starting area. This will give us a good amount of experience and a little bit of gear to help us along the way. I'm going to follow the main guiding story, letting it lead me to the various areas. I'm keeping an eye out for herbs along the way and using my speed boost when I can. You can see up at the top right of my Titan panel, I've got the add-on monkey speed, which is telling me how fast I'm going as a percentage of run speed. Now we hit level 10, and I get to choose a specialisation. I'm going to go for feral here, so I can stay in cat form and move faster from point to point. I've got a couple of attack moves now, so damage should be okay, and I can drop out of cat form to heal. Later on I should get some talents to help me use range spells for pulling. Here's a really good case for shadow meld. I'm running for a herb, but I picked up aggro along the way. I don't want to waste time fighting this spider because it's not part of the quest, so as soon as I get to the herb node, I hit shadow meld and lose aggro. That's really handy. Remember to read the quest text. I spent about 3 minutes killing these little guys before I realised you had to trap them. Oh well, it's all good XP in the end. Now this place is a maze. Try not to die here. I did, and it took me ages to find the entrance again. Okay, back for a quick pit stop. Sell my junk and choose my gear to keep and get rid of. See, this fine scimitar seems to have a reasonable price on the auction house. I wonder if I could sell it. They're not soul bound. I'm not sure if they can be transmogged because they are white items, so they may only be good for roleplay reasons. I'll keep hold of it for now. I'll sell anything soul bound or things that are less useful to me, like these low level potions and food. This belt is an upgrade though, so I'll wear that. Right, on to more questing. Here's another good use for shadow meld. I can see my target is up ahead, and I don't need to kill any more of these trash mobs, so I'm going to run in and hope there is somewhere to hide at the end. That was lucky. Now I have to kill this one quest guy and I can run back out. Aha, my first talent point. Let's look at the choices here. Predator seems good for passive extra damage. Sabertooth looks like another passive damage boost. Lunar Inspiration, now this one gives me extra utility because I can cast this whilst running and pull mobs from a distance. This is going to be really useful, so I'll take this one. Let's pull the spell onto my action bar and put it on one of my frequent hotkeys. You can also see Hikili is adapting my rotation to include it, which is really nice. I'll also move the raw thing closer, as that's recommended early on. Now we get to see Moonfire in action. It's a nice little dot as well, so I can see myself using this a lot. That's interesting, you can actually herb gather these dead mobs. It's not always good loot, but every little helps. Ah, fantastic. Now we have Prowl. This is going to be great for sneaking past mobs just to get to herbs or a specific quest mob. Overall, this will save me more time, even though moving while stealth is slower. Mind you, I am a night elf and I get a bonus to my prowl speed. I'm going to put this on my hotkeys under R for Prowl. Grrr. Stealthy, stealthy, herby picky. Now here's an interesting choice. Normally I would go for the most expensive item at 7 silver for the breeches, but the hands are way more of an upgrade to me at this stage. I still need to keep my equipment current even at this early level, especially because I have no heirlooms that scale as I level, so I'm going to take the hands on this one. Now here's another one. The stick is worth 14 silver to me. Weapons usually sell for a lot more. Unfortunately I don't have any feet. In this case the cost difference on a weapon is too tempting, so I'm going to go for the weapon instead and hope I get something for my feet later on. Now it looks like on the map I've done everything. Ah, the great outdoors. It's time to head to Darnassus, the great night elf city. Hello people, Samadan here. Good afternoon, lovely to meet you. Where is everyone? Where are all the players? Something's not right. Maybe it's an illusion. Not to matter, we are here for one thing, the auction house. I think it's over here. Oh, maybe not. Let's ask a guard. Ah, here it is. While we're here, let's go sell all the other bits to the vendor. Okay, junk is going to get auto-sold through Azeroth Autopilot. I've got 1 gold, 83 silver so far. That stick looks like a decent upgrade, so I better equip that. Let's also check if there's anything else I can wear that's better. Right, what's left? all these trade goods I'm going to keep for the auction house. These weapons all look like low-level white items. I'm not sure if they will sell, but they have a reasonable region sale average, especially when compared to the vendor sell price. As the vendor sell price is so low, the listing fees on these shouldn't be too high. This one's soul-bound, so I'll vendor that. Same with the legs and the tunic. Consumables. Now, while these might sell, I'm not sure there's really a use for them because I don't think people bother with them whilst levelling. So I'll just sell those. Now we've got just over 2 gold. Let's head to the auction house. The auction house is where we trade with our fellow players. It doesn't matter which auction house we use, they are all connected together, both Horde and Alliance. It's one big boiling pot where fortunes are made and lost every day. Hello, auctioneer Golothus. Nice to meet you. I've not got any groups set up here, so first thing is to decide how we're going to collect these items I have together. I've got trade skill items and weapons and armour. The herbs seem a natural choice to keep together as I'm a herbalist, so I'm going to want to do things with these later on. First we need to go into TSM. Here it is, all nicely set up with an empty graph and no gold. In the Groups tab we can set our brand new groups. I'll create the first group and call it Herbs. Then we can select the herbs we picked so far and add them to the group. Oh, I almost forgot Earthroot there. Now we can make a second group. I'm going to call this one Newbie Weapons and Armour. So all of these can go into this group. Oh, and the belt as well. Then our last group is going to be for all the odds and ends and trade skill items. I'll call this MISC Trade Goods. I can right click drag down this list to select all of them in one go. Okay, so now we have our groups. Now we need to assign operations to them. Looking at the herbs, we need to think about the prices here and what I want to sell mine for. So I'm thinking at this stage, just following the market value, as it's called in TSM, DB market. We override the parent operation and create a new one. And then let's name this one Mass 200 DB market. The auction duration I'm going to keep at 24 hours. Post cap we need to set a little bit higher here, so I'm going to go for 200 because I might want to have as much as one whole stack of herbs to sell. So looking at the default string here, I'm going to take just DB market as my value. This will most closely follow the fluctuations on my server. I'm going to keep the vendor sell in here as well, just so that I don't go too low and end up selling for less than the vendor price. We now need to add a max in here so that TSM will choose between the maximum of these two price sources. The DB market needs to be a little bit lower here so that I want a fraction of the value. So I'm going to put something like 60% in here, and that will account for fluctuations in the market. Let's look at my bags on the side so I can see the price brackets in the tooltip. One of the great things about Addy bags and the TSM extension is that you can split them in my bags by the assigned groups in TSM. So now when I turn all these on, and now I can see them all categorized here, which is really nice. I can't see the tooltip for my auctioning operations in here. So I need to go into my TSM settings. Under tooltip settings, let's turn on sale rate. And then here under auctioning, we want the min, normal and max prices turned on so I can see those in the tooltip. That's really important when setting up your groups. I'm also going to put in here the default crafting cost and the mat cost as well so I can see those. So that's that setup. Let's go back to our groups under herbs and check the operation for this mass DB market. So looking at these, the actual min buyout price is quite a bit lower than my min price in my auction string at the moment, 3 gold 29 versus 1 gold. So I need to decide what I want to do here. Do I want to reduce my price or do I want to just not post them on at this stage? At the moment I've got it set to don't post items. So let's select this and copy this for our maximum price and then change the percentage to 200% of DB market. And then this time we're going to post at maximum price, and then for my normal price I'm going to go with just DB market here, so I'm matching the market price value. So now looking at my tooltip, you can see the price ranges there for each of the herbs. My min price is looking still a bit high compared to these, so the chances are these won't get posted on if I keep it at this price. So let's reduce that down to 40% and see how that looks. So that's 2 gold, 2 gold. It's getting closer. That's still 479, so there's quite a big fluctuation here in the prices. 322, that's just within range. So I could either lower the price, or I could decide to either post at minimum price, or I could ignore auctions below minimum price, pretend they're not there, and just post them on at what I think is my minimum price, and see if I get any sales that way. Let's look at the trade goods now, the miscellaneous trade goods. So we're going to here, we've got all our different items here, looking at the min, normal, max prices at the moment, using the default operation. We'll override that, we'll add another one in here. Now we can actually use the mass 200 dB market. We can use the same operation for both of these, and then have a look at what the prices are here. Again, there's quite a lot of market variation here, looking at each of these. So the minimum price is quite a bit lower than the dB market value. So these are very interesting markets to have a look at here. Let's go back into the operation, and instead of ignore ones below minimum price, I think I'm going to go for post at minimum price here, so I can match them as closely as possible without losing too much potential money. Let's have a look at all of the weapons and armor there. So we go into the newbie weapons and armor. These are all the different things. Now I want to do something different with these, so I'm going to make a new operation for these. Create a new operation. This one's going to use the region sale average as my market data. So I'm going to call it region sale average. Now I'm going to want to hold these on for longer, so I'll stick them at 48 hours. And I only want to post one on at a time. So we want to use dB region sale average here, but it's not in the default string, so I'm going to have to find out what it's actually called. We can type in /TSM sources and get the list of everything here. And then I can see here the one I want here is dB region sale average. So that's the market price I want to make use of here. I'm still going to use the vendor sell for this, because that's going to be important for these items. So let's type in dB region sale average, add in the comma. Let's increase that to say 150% of vendor sell, add in the maximum at the beginning, and then we want a percentage of this, so let's take this down, the dB region sale average. Let's look at how low we might want to go on these, looking at the tooltip here. So 18 gold, 69. So let's copy this first, and let's put that into our maximum price, and say 400% of dB region sale average. And our normal price could be something like 200% dB region sale average. At the maximum price we want to increase that to maximum, and then for the minimum price, at the moment we're saying don't post the items, so we don't really want to go lower than the dB region sale average for these items. So looking at the tooltips here, we've got 925, so that one probably won't get posted on because the 925 is higher than the dB region market value of 592, but we're not looking at that value, so it depends how many other auctions there are on at this time when I post them. So maybe I want to go a little bit lower on my dB region sale percentage, maybe something like 80%. That way I've got a little bit more variation. So that's my basic groups and operations set up. What we then need to go is into the auction house, and then we've got our groups here under auctioning. Now I'm going to turn off the base group because I don't want to use that. I literally just want to post on the things I've got groups assigned to them. Hit post scan, and then you can see everything coming up here. A lot of these are going below minimum price here because we saw that in our operations in the tooltip as we set it up. So those things are less likely to sell unless someone's resetting the market on these. They do have a fair amount of fluctuation, so there is a good chance of that. So I might get scooped up along with all the other ones. Then looking at my other things here, we've got ones at normal price, ones at and undercutting competition, so those are all fine. So the ones at normal price are things that I haven't got any competition for. So we're going to go through. Now my scroll wheel macro isn't working here, so we need to set that up as well. So we're going to TSM, settings, under macros, my scroll wheel up and down with control. Let's set up the macro there. Sometimes you might have to do this twice if it doesn't work. Let's try it with this lot. Yep, it's not quite working yet. So let's go back into TSM and update the macro again. Sometimes it takes a couple of clicks to get it working. Turn those on, and then update existing macro. Now when we try posting, we go back into the post scan, and we can scroll through and post all of these on. So there we go, our first auctions all set up. That cost us only a small amount in deposit fees. Everything is on the auction house, and hopefully next time we come back we'll have some sales. If not, we'll relist the ones that have expired and then try again. And then we can decide later on what we're going to do if things keep on expiring, whether we need to adjust our prices or anything like that. So just to finish off here, I'm going to go through and just hand in those last couple of quests, clean up everything from this point of view, and then I'm going to pick up fishing as well, because I didn't pick up that whilst I was running around. That's always handy to have on a gathering character. So back at the auction house, we have all our auctions on here. We have our total gold at 2 gold 1. Our 15 posted auctions all add up to 3,000 potential gold there, if they happen to sell. One of the things isn't listed, and that's the long bow staff, and that's because I've got 2 of them. So there's no point having 2 of those on at any one time. If one sells, then we can always sell another one. So there we go, finishing this session, we've got 2 gold and 1 silver. Our /played time is 3 hours and 9 minutes. So all those quests took us all the way up to level 19, so we've got lots of really good abilities now. We're in a good position to carry on our adventures. We can probably move to another city perhaps, or go to another auction house, have a think about where we're going to level next and what we're going to do. And then we're going to see if we can build up our gold on the auction house at the same time. So there we go, we're well on our journey. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is going to be part of a series, so please do subscribe and turn on notifications. Until next time, happy gold making, and I'll see you very soon.